Hey there. So, my next guest, absolutely awesome, started as a streamer, got into the business world, and is now building a community across multiple different social media platforms, is promoting hip hop, anime, gaming, is really putting themselves out there and focusing on like core competencies. They know who their target audience is, they know what they're doing to promote, and they're really turning this into a business. And I absolutely know you guys are going to love this one. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Gamerpreneur podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bradford Carlton. Today, I have a very special guest with us. I have April Bowler. Hey there, April. How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm really looking forward to this one. So, what I like to do on the show, April, is I don't like do any of that like preface stuff. I want to get right into it. So, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Sure. My name is April Bowler, 31 right now. I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro complex area, originally from Virginia. Been a gamer my whole life. Since as early as I can remember, but now, so I started with streaming on Twitch around 2016, but it sort of evolved into a new company, kind of switched brandings from my previous identity, which was That.Girl.Slays. I don't slay too much anymore. I'm not as good of a FPS gamer as I used to be, but I have a new company now, H.A.G Entertainment, hip hop, anime, and gaming. So most of my content now, and just me being in touch with the gaming sort of industry is through H.A.G Entertainment.
I love it. All right. So I don't know if you've ever seen my shows before, but I always start the interviews with a single question. So I'm going to ask you just like I ask everybody else. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, how weird are you, April?
I feel like I'm not that weird. I used to be weirder when I was younger. I think now I'm probably at like a 5. I don't think I'm that weird, but I don't know. But other people might say otherwise, so you might have to ask other people about me.
I love it. So normally when I ask that question, you have HAG right there, right? And everybody's go-to for like being a 10, 11, 12, over 9,000 is one of those letters in that acronym. And that somehow makes people weird. I'm like, I love all those things too. Are you saying that I'm weird and that person's weird? Like, so I love your answer.
Yeah, I don't think any of the elements. Yeah. I don't think any of the elements, like if you're an anime fan or if you're a gamer or if you're super into any specific genre of music, I don't think it makes you weird. So we're just normal. This is just our interest. I mean, we're cool. We're the cool kids now, like anime fans, gamers. We're the cool kids now in 2020.
Absolutely. I actually had a professor at a school who does research on this, on esports specifically, tell me that they've done studies and that they show that something like 77% of high schoolers all play video games. So, back when we were growing up, it was weird. Nowadays, everybody's doing it.
That number is actually lower than I'd imagine. I figured it'd be higher, but I'm not quite in tune with case studies and research and stuff like that. But I mean, everybody that I come across is a gamer, but that's also just because I'm in that space. So naturally, I'm around those people or attract those people. So 70-something%, that's actually lower than I imagined. But hey, I'm happy it's the majority and not the minority. So that's great.
Absolutely. All right. So this is the Gamerpreneur, and like I could see all your equipment back there. So I kind of understand that you're a gamer, but could you give me your gaming cred? When did you first start playing games?
The first system I owned, as in, my parents bought it for me and my brother, and it was ours, was the N64. But I know that I played earlier systems when I was younger, like at older cousin's house. I don't remember what those systems were, and I don't really have much recollection of them, to be honest. So I always just say, the N64 was my first console. I'm not trying to flex and try to go back earlier than really I can remember. So the N64 was my first console. I remember receiving it for Christmas, and it was like the year it came out, and we got subsequent systems after that, but we usually got them later, like a few years after they came out. But I just remember the N64 was like, I don't even remember seeing commercials for it. So it was we opened it up and we got it. And like, I had no idea what it is. Like, what is this? What do I do with this cartridge? Which I didn't know what that word was at the time, but we figured it out. And I just remember absolutely loving that platform. So that is the one that I'll go with as my first true platform that I owned and played sort of religiously.
I love it. And can you walk us through the journey of, you first started and then how did you get to where you're at today?
Okay, so started with the N64 all through, I think I was in somewhere between like third and fifth grade when that came out. So played that for however many years until the PlayStation 2 came out. I didn't have the PlayStation 1, but my cousins did. And we were in like we were in this summer camp program, and we would go to my cousin's house after summer camp, waiting for my mom to pick us up, me and my brother. So that's where we first got exposure to the PlayStation 1 at my cousin's house after this summer camp. So I remember playing like Spyro and other stuff. That was the main game, and Crash Bandicoot. But we never owned that system. And then PlayStation 2 came out. I can't quite recall what we got on that. Probably like Need for Speed and stuff. I was really into Need for Speed, Mortal Kombat, like Deception and stuff. That might have been on PlayStation 3. So PlayStation 3, when it came to PlayStation 4 versus Xbox, I did switch over to Xbox. And the reason why I did that was because I had more friends IRL, in real life that had Xbox. So I wanted to play with them. But then when I actually got my system, I ended up never playing with them. I just met new people online and just played with the new people. But then eventually I got a PlayStation 4. I got it way late after everybody else, like several years. I think I only got it last year. I got a PlayStation 4 pretty late. And around the time I got a PlayStation 4, I actually started getting into PC gaming more. I started PC gaming probably 2 years ago. It first started with me building a PC for streaming, and I was mostly streaming console stuff. So I wasn't building like a beefy computer really, because I didn't need one since I was still gaming on console. But shortly after that, like within a year or so of having my PC, of course, just slowly upgrading it over time, getting addicted to that whole PC build, process. And then it slowly evolved into PC gaming. So PC is now my main platform, though I do still have my Xbox One, my PlayStation 4. I do have a Nintendo Switch that I need to play more. So yeah, I in terms of the new Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5, I haven't decided yet because really PC has been just like my comfort spot, for a while. So that's sort of the journey of my progression.
Replace one part on your PC, you got to replace the whole PC.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm okay with upgrading for a while. Right now, the upgrades that I would want to do are kind of like superficial. Like I kind of want to switch out my case to the exact same case, but like a slight different model so that I can mount my GPU vertically. Just like minor upgrades. Like my computer is fine where it's at, but it's like I still want to like aesthetically like enhance it and stuff. It becomes very addicting, and it's definitely more expensive of a hobby to maintain versus console gaming. So, there's just that you have to think about.
For sure. But you also can do more on it. Now, you've played games for a long time, not saying anything on that, but of all the games that you've played, if you had to pick one as your all-time favorite, the only game you were ever allowed to play again, which would that one be?
Oh, man. Okay, so if we can go with the stipulation that I play it, the only game I can play for the rest of my life, but it plays as if it was in its prime.
Okay.
Then I would say Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Now, I mean, the game there's people actually still playing it, but it's relatively dead, and there's so many hackers and stuff. So it's not in its prime. But if I could play it as if it was in its prime, no question about it, I would play that every single day for hours and hours and hours on end.
I love it. All right, let's get over to the preneur part. You are an entrepreneur. Tell me about H.A.G Entertainment. Like, what is it? How did it get started? Like, give me the details, please.
Sure. So H.A.G Entertainment was actually not created by me. It was created by my business partner, who's also now my boyfriend. So a little bit of story there. But his name is Lo Cunningham. He created it in about June 2018. It actually started as a different idea. It started as just being about games. And he kind of wanted to do that whole games and beautiful women type of like market. And he reached out to me because at the time I I was really into streaming on my personal Twitch, which is that.girl.slays. And so I was in all of the Facebook, groups for Twitch streaming and stuff like that, networking. And he found me there, and he invited me basically to come into his organization and kind of be one of his faces for his community. And at first I was skeptical because the group had like 200 people. I was like, okay, I mean, I don't really know how I can help you, how you can help me, but let's just see. And the idea was he was going to send me like a hoodie to wear on my stream, market it and stuff like that. Within a month of like our talking and us setting up that arrangement, he actually rebranded it, and he decided he wanted to change the name of the group. It's a Facebook group primarily. He wanted to rebrand it, and instead of doing the whole gamer beauty, route, he wanted to focus on his favorite aspects of entertainment, which is hip hop, anime, and gaming. I'm actually surprised I did that in the right order. And the offer for me to come in as sort of the gaming head of the organization was still on the table. I did express to him, hey, like, no offense, but hip hop's not really my main genre of music. At the time, I was super into EDM, still am, but I explore into more genres. And I really hadn't watched anime at the time, to be honest. But he said, you know what, it's okay. As long as you like one of the three aspects of our community, then you'll fit right in. You don't have to like everything. And of course, your interest can develop over time, which it has. So from there, we really turned in, our group exploded. We went to 30,000 members, or maybe it might have been closer to 25,000 members in just like 6 months. It just really exploded because these are very specific, markets, and very all people that are fans of gaming or anime or music, but specifically hip hop. They're very, very passionate about those subjects. So the group really expanded and exploded. We started throwing live events last August 2019 was our first. We had a party in Houston, and then we also had a party this past January 2020 in Atlanta, and we try to mesh all of the community interests together. So we have hip hop performers from our community come and perform. We have a DJ, all night spinning. It's mostly like a party type, a dance party type thing. We have a cosplay contest, so we invite people to come to the party and cosplay, and then we have a contest, have a cosplay photo shoot. For gaming in the future, we like to try to implement like a gaming tournament, but in the past we've done a raffle for a Nintendo Switch. So those are some of the live events that we do, but we also have expanded into a marketing company. So because our group has so many people, we're currently at around 35,000, 36,000. We do marketing in the group as well as across our other social media. So we have a lot of artists in the group, up and coming hip hop artists, or traditional, painter artists that do like anime canvas art. We have a lot of cosplayers or people that do OnlyFans, and we provide promotion for them in the group. In partnership with brands and stuff like that, like gaming gloves, keyboards, gaming companies that are maybe producing an application for gamers, stuff like that. So really, it's evolved into such a broad brand because we have so many aspects. And this is great because, when I was that.girl.slays, really the focus was like about me as a streamer and as a gamer. And there's really only so much you can do with that unless you are a pro player or just like wildly, entertaining as a streamer, or just like very special. Everybody knows how hard it is to break into the streaming world and to be successful. But with H.A.G, because it's less so about me or Lo, the creator, it's more so about the community and what our community has to offer. So it really has allowed us to become, a brand, a company that we can offer these services to people.
That's fantastic. Let's talk about your streaming career. What got you into it in the first place?
Oh man, so I remember early 2000s, I started recording some game clips for YouTube. Not like only a few clips, and I remember it was like Assassin's Creed 2. I was just making some montages and stuff and putting them to music. It wasn't anything like fancy, but I just remember liking playing and recording, and wanting people to see it. So I remember first coming across, I think like SS Sniper Wolf, to be honest, and seeing her like YouTube channel, and she was really into Call of Duty, which I was as well. And I used to be really, really good, hence the name, That Girl Slays. Not so much anymore. I'm getting older and my like reaction time and motor skills are deteriorating. But I remember thinking like, I want to do this as well. Like I want to play and I want to record and I want people to see how good I am, to be honest. Like, I guess it was like narcissistic. I don't know, but I just wanted to share it with people. So I actually wasn't really familiar with like live streaming. My focus was really going to be like doing the pre-recorded YouTube stuff. So what I did was I actually created an Instagram account, that.girl.slays, still active if you guys want to follow me. And I started just posting like game clips, screenshots of my scoreboards in Call of Duty. You could see me at the top of the scoreboard. Like I was good, okay? And through that, because I had a personal Instagram, I had a travel account Instagram because I'm a huge traveler, backpacker, all that stuff. And then I created this gaming Instagram. And through that gaming one, I only followed gaming accounts. Like, I only really followed what I wanted to see on that account. So through that, I started meeting YouTubers and Twitch streamers. And then that was where I learned about Twitch. And at the time, I didn't have my PC built yet. So I just did a trial stream through Xbox console directly, using my Kinect camera, I think it was. And I was like, let me just play what game was out at the time. It might have been like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare or something. I'm not quite sure. I was like, let me just like open this Twitch app, hit record and see what this is all about. And I remember having like a viewer, which I think was one of my friends, to be honest, but like it kind of weirded me out. I was like, what? Someone's actually watching me? This is weird. So I actually stopped for a few months because I thought it was a little weird, but I wanted to explore it. And if I were going to do it, I wanted to do it well. So I didn't do the Xbox streaming anymore. I had to kind of come to terms with someone's actually going to watch me. I want it to be presentable. I want to be entertaining. So that's when I decided I'm gonna build my PC. I'm gonna do that whole capture card thing. Getting my Xbox to my PC via capture card, get an overlay. Like I want it to be a presentable, thing. So I took a little bit of time and then I launched, I think it was, so I did some test streams on my own. I didn't really market them. I just wanted to like kind of do a test, look back at what the quality was. I always take quality very seriously. But my first like official stream was, I think it was Valentine's Day 2016. So that was the start of my streaming career. I streamed That Girl Slays from then till about 2019. I took a very long hiatus, about a year, to be honest. From That Girl Slays, once I got invited to H.A.G, because I really wanted to nurture that business. And doing everything from writing proposals to coming up with business plans, all of this stuff. I just wanted to make sure I was focusing on the business, growing that, getting that to a good place. And now I'm starting with content again, but instead of on my That Girl Slays channel, I'm doing it more so on the H.A.G Twitch channel, which it's new, so we have to build it. But it's a matter of bringing my old community over and stuff like that, and you really learn who kind of is interested in what you do, and they don't just want to watch you because they find you funny or they think you're a pretty face or whatever, but they're actually interested in what you're doing. So it's fun seeing the people come over from That Girl Slays to HAG and get involved with the new community because it's so much bigger. We have a Discord for HAG and I think it's like 3 times or 4 times the size of what my old Discord was for That Girl Slays. So really the past year has been sort of a rebranding or kind of letting go of my personal brand and really just accepting like, hey, I need to grow my business. My business is the new brand that I really need to focus on. Of course, I'll still be me personally and stuff like that. But really you have to shift focus honestly to be successful.
All right, that's wonderful. Now let's talk about your business, H.A.G Entertainment. You said you're the head of the gaming division. What does that mean? You kind of gave us a couple examples of things you do, but what is it you do for H.A.G?
So I wouldn't call myself the head anymore. That was kind of how I got invited to sort of lead one of the 3 pillars, with Lo doing more of the anime and the hip hop side of it. But him and I were definitely a partnership, like 50-50. He's the marketing brain behind everything. I'm more of the I'll get the legal stuff situated. I'll get our agreements for performers coming to our parties and stuff like that, written up. But in terms of gaming, so we do, community game nights. Of course, we have our Twitch streams. We're going to be expanding to a stream team soon, actually, but we've delegated a lot of tasks to people in our community that just genuinely want to get involved and want to see us grow. So we have a community lead for each of the different platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. We don't quite have one for Nintendo because that one's just a little bit smaller. But in terms of anime, we do like anime watch parties. We have people in the group that are artists, art writers that are producing their own anime. So as a group, we would like to produce an anime as a group. Different things like that. We try to bring exposure to, hip hop artists or cosplayers, just different types of partnerships. So I wouldn't really say that I'm the leader of the gaming, but because our Facebook group is our biggest platform, Lo and I, we definitely do try to go into our group every single day, not only to like approve posts, we have post approvals on in our group, but also to provide our own content, to provide our own thoughts and opinions about stuff, games that we're excited for, or just introducing people to games that maybe they haven't played before. I play more indie games than Lo does. Lo is definitely the big title fighting games and shooters and stuff like that. I used to be, but I'm just not as good as I used to be, honestly. So I've been relaxed and chilling on like solo or co-op type games, less competitive stuff. But so we just try to foster activity in our community and engagement, just connect all of the people, to the right sources. So we might have a music producer and a hip hop artist, both like music producer needs an artist, to actually rap on their beat, and a rapper needs a beat to rap to. We pair them up. The gamers, we're really fortunate that our committee leads and our Discord moderators are very, very active with keeping the gaming aspect going. Discord is a great place for like looking for a group. Hey, I'm about to hop on like Dead by Daylight. Does anybody want to play? Stuff like that. And Lo and I are more so just the business minds behind it. So Lo, marketing, me more so the creative type stuff. So our website, graphics, our legal agreements. I'm kind of our copywriter and editor and stuff like that. But it's a really great partnership between the two of us because his strong suits are my weaknesses, and then vice versa.
Fantastic. It's as if you know what my questions are in advance, because my next question was actually,
sorry.
Kind of pulling back from the business. I want to talk about you. What makes you special? What makes you, qualified or the right person for this job?
Right. So one thing I didn't mention in terms of, you were asking about my streaming career and how it got started. And maybe this will bump my rating on the weirdness scale. I don't know, but I'm very techie. So with Twitch, one thing that was really unique about my stream when I was streaming on that.girl.slays, I haven't implemented it yet with H.A.G stream, but I would like to, is that I would actually program like plugins and scripts for OBS Studio. You can't do it with Streamlabs OBS. But I would program different things. I would program like a starting soon, like a countdown timer that would have all these different actions once the timer either counted down or counted up to wherever you need it to do. You could switch your scene automatically or display a source, hide a source, change text message on the screen. So for me, I really like to automate processes. So that was great for me for that.girl.slays. I would hit my starting soon thing, mute all of my sources automatically for me, start a timer. When that timer counts down, it automatically switches my scenes for me, and unmuted my sources, things like that. So I get really nerdy when it comes to techie stuff. Also, I was using this bot for Twitch. It's called DeepBot. Totally recommend it for anyone who is very developer minded. I'm also like a web developer, so I kind of have that background. But I would program a lot of stuff, a lot of APIs that would integrate like a web program or website or database, web-driven database to my bot, which then would go to my stream. So I actually created what I would consider sort of the first Twitch extension before there was Twitch extensions. So basically, people in my chat would be able to like pick a Game of Thrones character. Everybody in my stream loved Game of Thrones. And they all had their own like perks and buffs and weaknesses, and they would fight each other, and like the messages would go through their DMs like, hey, you attacked so and so, you lost this much, stamina, lost this much health, etc., etc. So that, and they would actually have a pop-up on screen of like the two characters fighting. And so that was actually before Twitch extensions were available, so I consider myself making the first Twitch extension, to be honest. So just things like that. Like I really like the techie side of streaming. That's why I use OBS Studio, because you can do a little bit more with it. So I think that was why I got invited originally to assist with H.A.G Entertainment, specifically the gaming side of it, was because Lo had seen my stream and had seen some of the stuff that I had implemented in it, and he was just very impressed. And I had always received compliments on that type of stuff with my stream before. So
I'm sure. Like I'm sitting here, like, do you happen to have like a guide on how to do that? Because you're like, you can automatically do this stuff. Like what?
I made a YouTube channel, two YouTube videos. One about like adding a music visualizer to your stream, and then another one about integrating DeepBot, my bot, with your stream, and some things you can do with it. There's a lot more that I could make guides about, but it's just a matter of time. I feel like I don't have the time. It was actually at a point where I was doing more programming for my stream than actual stream. I was doing like 100 hours a week of programming, and then like 20 hours of like the actual stream. And I'm like, this is actually really exhausting, but I love it. Like it was my passion. It was more so the techie side of streaming versus the actual content stuff. So that's what's great about H.A.G, is because Lo is also streaming on our channel. It's not just me. So I don't have to focus on content. I can focus on improving the stream and just being creative and techie and stuff like that. And then as we bring on more streamers to our team, then it will be less that I have to focus on and more that I can, spend time exploring and doing stuff like that. So another thing that I helped my friends with while, before H.A.G, but while I was That Girl Slays, was consulting them with their streams. Like, okay, you're using the same bot as me, and you want a mini game that does this. Everybody has like that a raffle mini game or like a betting mini game, but some people want it like a custom mini game with their own rules and stuff like that. And I would build it for them, or I would tell them how to build it. So that was another type of thing that I did for my friends a lot for free. I should have charged them, but I didn't have the business mindset. Lo helped me learn that business mindset. Like, hey, you have a service, you have a skill that no one else, very few people can do. You need to charge them for it. So that really helped me learn to get into a business mindset.
I love it. And once you get bit by the entrepreneurial bug, there's no going back,
man.
is there?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I'd like to ask if you could go back in time. So it was roughly 2016 when you first started streaming, right? If you could go back in time, you could talk to little April and you go, hey, little April, this is everything that's going to happen to you over the next several years. But here's the one thing you need to know. What do you tell her?
Honestly, to not get discouraged. I'm an introvert. It may not seem like that, but like mentally engaging people, though I love it at the time, it really drains me afterwards. So I was always very bad with having a consistent streaming schedule or content creation schedule. Also, just the whole idea of getting dressed up and like getting your makeup on and stuff like that. I wish I would have told myself, hey, don't get discouraged. Always be yourself. Do what makes you happy. Don't feel like you have to follow a trend. Because I tried to hop on certain trends of certain games, like Valorant. Like I tried to play Valorant. That's not my type of game. Like it just has never been my type of game. CS:GO, anything like that, like the tactical type stuff, not my type of game. I'm super reckless and I'm very competitive with myself. So playing a competitive tactical game but being reckless and then playing badly, I get very upset with myself. So it's like, don't force yourself to do something that you're not going to enjoy, or that you're not going to be good at, and that you're going to be upset with yourself. Just have fun, be yourself, stay true to yourself, but also be consistent. It's a grind. I hate that word, but it really is. You have to stay consistent and work consistently on your goal if you want to reach it. So have a consistent schedule. Figure out how you can work that in with your life. Just like if you work at a regular job, your management might tell you work-life balance, and it's the same thing with streaming. You can't just expect to stream every single day. You're going to get tired. Don't force yourself to even do 4 or 5 days a week, because that might be too much for you. Other people might do it, and you might see them and compare yourself to them. Oh, but they're doing so well. I think I need to do the same thing. If that doesn't work for you, if you can only stream 2 days a week, then just do that, because one, it's going to be consistent for your followers to know your schedule, but two, it's like that's what you personally need. Everybody's different, and you just have to figure out what you need, stick to it, and really try not to get discouraged.
100% right there with you. All right. So you've kind of transitioned off the streaming, like you said, and you're now into the business world. What advice would you have for somebody either starting a new business or getting into a business and helping to build it?
Partnerships. There's a lot of what we do that require financial, resources, and we do have to put up with that, and our full-time jobs help fund that. But we're so grateful for the people that have partnered with us for like an exchange of service, where we provide them some benefit, they provide us some benefit, no money is involved, but we're trying to see them grow, and vice versa. It's very, very valuable, especially as a starting company, growing company. You may not have, income being generated right away. So it's either going to be your financial investment, or if you can, find people that will just genuinely help you, that understand you may not be able to compensate them, and that they can't compensate you, but find a way that you guys will both benefit. Don't let it be one-sided, because then one party is going to be unhappy and you guys aren't going to work with each other, and it's just going to, be a bad situation. But just genuinely, if you genuinely want to see the people that you work with succeed, then they'll wish the same for you, and you guys will make it happen together.
I love it. Oh, you give such fantastic advice. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
April.
Thank you.
Is it all right if I humble you for a second, though?
Absolutely.
All
Please.
right. So you see, I believe that we learn the most in life from our failures, not our success. Because some people just luck into success. It's when you fail, and then finally break through is when you have shown that you've learned the lesson you needed to learn. So I'd love to know, what do you consider your biggest failure in life, and what did you learn from it?
My biggest failure in life? That's a tough one. I can't say I ever failed. No, I definitely have. I just can't. So I'll just go to our first party as H.A.G. Okay, so it was hosted in Houston, and we gave ourselves about 4 months to do social media advertising. We had on our Facebook page, we created an event, and then we were, paying to boost that event and everything like that. And I went to our page one time and I saw 2 events listed. It's like duplicate event. So I'm like, I'm gonna delete one of these, because and I went into the details and it looked like it was like a draft event. So I deleted it, but it also deleted our other event. So somehow after months of marketing, our event was no longer there. So that was it was super devastating to that event. And then our first event, we were able to recover with about a month and a half of marketing time. We created a new event and we were pushing people to that, but we had way less, RSVPs to that second event that popped up. We weren't able to capture the people who had RSVP to the first one, because we didn't export, the contacts and stuff like that. It was gone. And we were also going through the event venues ticketing system. So it just would have been better. The second event we did through Eventbrite, so we had control over the ticketing system, but we didn't have any information about who might have been interested and stuff like that. So really, all of those leads for the first one were gone, and it was devastating. I cried about it for like a day or 2 days or something. But Lo was like, "Hey, we just got to move on now. We just have to get into gear and market this new event that we created. Do our best to really put it out there in our group, in our page, message people who we think RSVP'd, or message our friends, hey, can you please share this event? We are in a crisis mode." So that was all on me. The event itself didn't have a great turnout, but we learned a lot. We learned how much leeway we need for marketing. We learned not to delete an event on accident on Facebook. We learned to like, going through Eventbrite is a much better system. Having a MailChimp or other mailing list to collect people's contact information is a good idea. So we learned a lot from that. At the event itself, it was like, the turnout was a lot less than we wanted to where I actually felt uncomfortable at the event. I wanted to just like go in a corner and hide. Like, are these people having fun? I wish there was a larger turnout. And Lo was just like, you just have to keep your composure. You have to, just give the people that are there the time of their life. We're a growing company, so they can't expect that we're going to have like a 10,000 level, membership convention or something for our first party. So our second event was way more successful. We didn't have the same accidental event deletion, but because of that instance that happened, we did learn a lot from it, which is a positive thing at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I actually had a situation, not an event, but I was hired to ghostwrite an appellate brief for a federal appellate court for an attorney. So like the second highest court in the country, I was writing a brief for them. It took me about a week to write and do all the research. And it was like 35 pages long. And it was just sitting there on my computer, and I went to bed, like it was Saturday night. It was due on Monday to be turned in. The filing deadline was Monday. And I went to bed. I woke up on Sunday and my computer had restarted. And apparently, for some reason, the Libre office that I had just erased this 30-page brief, and I had to rewrite it all that day.
Man, I would be freaking out.
I understand the crunch. I understand the feeling. Like, I hope it's good enough. You're getting what you get. Yeah. All right, but thank you for sharing, April. What is something you're working to improve on in yourself today?
For myself personally?
Yeah.
Honestly, taking care of myself. So a part of the reason why I had a very long hiatus with streaming was not only to focus on H.A.G, but when it actually started, when I was streaming on that.girl.slays and it turned into like a year-long hiatus, it actually started as just a 2-week, hey, like I had really been grinding pretty hard, streaming probably too many days per week than I should have. So I'm like, I'm just going to take a little bit of time off. And then it turned into like, I wasn't feeling well. I was having chest pains and things that when you look it up on WebMD, they're like, go to the doctor now. So it's like, okay, let me like stop and just like manage my stress, because I had, H.A.G was starting, my that.girl.slays stream was really was pretty successful. Then I started streaming for another channel. I won't name them, but I just felt like I was wearing so many hats and I had so many jobs, and my stress of that was manifesting physically. And I didn't know that. You don't know. You think something serious is happening. You get chest pains, you get all of these other sensations. You want to go to the doctor and stuff. So I took quite some time to really focus on lowering my stress and my health, eating better. Honestly, I hadn't worked out. That didn't pick up, but so recently I actually have gone in and out of the doctors a lot because the symptoms have kind of intensified, and I have family history of certain things. So I wanted to make sure that wasn't it. But really, so what I'm focused on now, because all of the doctors have said, physically, we're not finding anything, you're healthy. So now I really want to focus on making sure I manage my stress. So I don't feel like it's stressful because I feel like life's great. Like, I get to play games and talk to people about games, and I'm running and owning a business. Like, I feel life's great. But I actually underestimated how COVID has impacted me, and it's impacted me and everybody. I mean, the entire world. And I'm learning the ways in which my body manifests stress, manifests it very, very, very physically. And I just have to make sure that whole work-life balance stuff, making sure I still get me time. Even though I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a businesswoman, I still need to disconnect sometimes and just have some times just for my personal mental health, which will help, my physical health and everything. So that's the main thing I'm working on.
Wonderful. Best of luck in finding that balance. I don't think there really is. I'm right there with you. I have a life. It's a wonderful life. If you try to balance it, then you're not focusing on everything else, right?
Yeah.
Okay. April, this has been a fantastic interview. Thank you so much. How do people find you? Where are you guys at on social media, website address? Tell us everything. How do we get in touch?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me on. You can find us at our website, HAGentertainment.com, as well on social media. Facebook.com/HAGentertainment is our Facebook page. Our Facebook group, if you do a Facebook search, the name is the official hip hop, anime, and gaming community. Or if you wanted to go by URL, facebook.com/groups/HAGentertainment. Our Instagram is at HAGentertainment. My personal Instagram, which is mostly gaming content, is that.girl.slays. Our Twitter is HAGentertain, no mint because it's too long. And our Twitch, HAG Entertainment as well. My Twitch is that.girl.slays. I'm actually thinking about kind of streaming on both soon. So if you guys wanted to check me out on both of those, you are free to do so.
Beautiful. All right. Now, as we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts you want to share or anything I didn't ask you think we still need to cover?
Actually, yes. So I'm assuming most people that are watching are gamers or interested in gaming, just, the name of the show. We are actually hiring for gamers that can get paid while they're gaming. So if you guys are interested, go to our website, hagentertainment.com. Under our services tab, or even just on the homepage, there's information about our in-game marketing program. So, as a business, like I said earlier, we want to see people that we work with succeed. So that includes, employees. So we want to see gamers succeed, get paid while they're gaming, get paid while they're streaming. And we have invented a new service, the first ever in-game marketing service that allows people to do so. So if you're interested in making some extra income while you're gaming, everybody loves to game. So who wouldn't want to get paid while they're gaming? Definitely hit up our website for more information, hagentertainment.com.
I love it. April Bowler, thank you so much for coming on. I genuinely do appreciate this.
Brad, thank you so much for having me. This was an awesome interview, and I definitely look forward to seeing more episodes of other awesome gamerpreneurs. That is very hard to say, but you have a great program here.
Thank you so much. I break it into two words, gamerpreneur. So entrepreneur is basically two words.
Yeah.
Right.
And I struggle with that word all the time as well. So
spelling it, spelling it's tough. And it's usually like the last part because it's entre, okay, E-N-T-R-E, P-R-E-N-E-U-R. And if you can remember EU, the E comes before you, that you can spell the last part fairly easily.
Yeah.
All right, April, thanks again. And for everybody else, I'm going to remind you all, don't be just a gamer, be a gamerpreneur.